Everybody doing tonight?
Very good.
All right, we appreciate you coming out here, Sport Nation, Dulles Town Center, and we're going to be here every other week. So every second Friday, if you want to call it that, we can't really say that.
Yes. I mean, with special guests too.
Yeah,
Well,
we're special guests. We'll have some of Morgan's teammates coming in, but this is the first show, so as you know, this will grow, get better, and we're going to be doing this and having a lot of fun with it as well. So Morgan, you guys know him as a menacing right tackle for the Redskins on the field, but off the field, this is just one of the nicest guys you would want to be around, and very articulate. So, this is something that we've talked about for a while getting done. So we got to thank the good people here at Sport Nation. Ollie, a good friend over there, guys putting this stuff together. So we're going to have a lot of fun.
yeah, let's do it.
All right, so now that I've said all the nice things, it's time to talk.
Let's get it all out, man.
All right, so let's get it all out. This was an interesting week.
We need a couch.
Good friend, oh yeah, we do. We need a couch talk. A good friend of yours came back in the building, Mr. Trent Williams, and it's kind of a lot of Redskins fans. They're not really understanding the full gamut of what's going on. You and I have talked about this long time ago, so I just wanted to get your take on the situation. Is it something that can be rectified, or is it just what it is?
Knowing Trent and just, obviously, I've learned a lot from him on and off the field over the last 6 years of my career. And, obviously, he has his own business. And when I speak of his own business, his body is his own temple. And for a guy to be 9, 10 years in the league and have to go through something like that, obviously is devastating. But also at the end of the day, he has to make sure he's in the best place before he steps on the field. I'm not truly sure where it's at between, the management and Trent. Obviously, he misses the guys. I mean, I've talked to him, weekly, and he stressed that he does miss football. Obviously a guy that's played football all his life, you just don't stop playing football out of the blue and, and say it's done. And obviously he has a lot of good football left. Sure. Obviously when you look at last year when he was on the field, he was playing at a high Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber level. So, at this point, we're waiting and seeing this just like you guys, you fans, and obviously I want him back on the field with us, especially with me, and that's being selfish, obviously. But at the end of the day, he has a family, and he has to make sure the decisions that he makes are in the betterment of him and his body.
How much, this is going to sound like a silly question to you guys, but how much have you, and especially, and Brandon as well, how much have you missed him? Because I've noticed a significant amount of players running to the right side of the field that maybe I didn't see in years past.
Well, when I say this, and I don't want to say it, and I don't want anybody to think that Donald Penn is less of a player than Trent. I think when you look at it, you can see two different types of left tackles. Obviously, Donald's played at an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber level for years. He's 14 years in the league. And he's 35 or 36 years old, which is amazing for him to be able to play at this type of level. But when you look at Trent, what he does, a guy at 330 pounds runs a 4.7 40. It just speaks for itself. So a lot of those things that we used to do his way have changed and came our way, and it's a little different adjustment for guys like me and Brandon. You look at the Minnesota game, I think we ran the ball to the left 3 times.
Literally.
Out of the whole game. So woke up the next morning with a lot of neck pain. But
I don't think people notice that, though.
Having a guy like Trent, obviously, in taking myself out of the situation, having a guy like Trent and having a guy like Brandon on the other side, you got 2 Pro Bowl players, being able to have diversity in the run game and in the pass protection. And that's what allowed us to do what we've done for years. And I think when you add in the mix a healthy Jay Reed, a Brandon Davis, and guys like that, Chris Thompson, things like that, offense is a whole different offense, right?
Naturally the big story today was Callahan told us in the media something that you probably have already known all week was that Dwayne was starting, Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
I've said this before. If Trent was here from day one, training camp all the way through, perhaps we would have seen Dwayne by now. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Obviously going into it, and I know the kid is taking a lot of heat over the last couple of weeks, but what people don't really realize when you're getting ready to prepare for a game throughout the week of practice, you got one quarterback to get ready. And that's it. So when Case is the starter, he gets all the team reps in practice. So when Dwayne comes in as a backup, like he did in Minnesota, everything he's seen throughout the week in practice has either been on the sideline or on film.
Right.
And as a young quarterback, what is the worst thing that you can do is not have practice reps, right? I mean, I'm in year 6, and
right.
if I have an injury and I can't practice, like I can already tell you when going out there, my play is gonna be different.
Right.
I have to play conservative because I haven't gotten those looks, and that's me being year 6. I mean, Trent did it 2 years ago, but Trent's a different, he's a different beast, obviously.
Yes.
But when you don't get those practice reps in practice, man, it's hard to go out there against a top 5 defense and just say, hey, let me go sling it around. Especially when they have every type of defensive structure in their playbook. So I think him finally getting a week's worth of work with the ones and actually seeing these things actually helped them out a lot.
Well, Kevin Kevin O'Connell, the offensive coordinator, he told us today, he told me specifically that, he doesn't want to change what you guys do.
Yeah.
He said first and second down is first and second down. You're going to run the same plays. He said, but now on third downs, maybe you mix it up and do some different stuff. So I'm asking you, did you see anything this week that makes you feel better about Dwayne starting? Because he's playing against the number 3 ranked defense on Sunday.
No doubt. And every game we have moving forward is
tough.
It's tough. I mean, you look at it all season, man. We've played the Eagles, top defense. The Bears are top defense.
Niners last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Minnesota top defense. So, I think obviously the talent is undeniable. We've talked about this before. The dude can throw the ball like it's a rocket coming off his shoulder. I mean, he can make any NFL throw. He can throw it on the run. I mean, no look. I've seen him just snap his wrist and it goes 60 yards down the field. But that being said, in this game, we all know talent doesn't really, it's not really it. It's all up here. What you see, preparation and things like that. So I'm excited. I know I'm excited to see the kid have a full week of practice and go out there and play with confidence. The one thing I know about the kid is that he's a gamer. He's a gamer.
He's pretty
he's a gamer.
Pretty old right now, to say the least, as far as the perception that's put out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And I like seeing that, though.
Exactly. Obviously, he has a chip on your shoulder because when you get drafted that high in the first round and you haven't played, and you look around the NFL and see all these other quarterbacks that you were drafted with, your peers are starting and stuff. I mean, it doesn't really sit that well with you inside. I mean, obviously. But like I've shared with them all this whole time is about the process. We talk about my rookie year was a disaster.
I wasn't going to say that.
It was a disaster. I mean, we're just being real, right?
No.
But in the offseason, I rededicated myself to football. But half of it was because these guys come from colleges and they're the man. That's all they know is praise God, Dwayne Haskins,
Right.
And then when you come here, you come to the NFL, everybody's the man, You got Ryan Kerrigan who's running a 4.6 40. You ain't never seen that before. You got,
And the other thing, too, is that, and I was talking with someone earlier about this, is that Jay, when he was here, we understood the situation. I mean, he needed to win.
Yeah.
He needed to win right off the bat. So he really didn't have time to develop Dwayne at that point. That's why he went with the veteran in Case. And I thought Case was the better of all 3 of them in training camp. I mean, I remember talking to Ike Hilliard, and I'm kind of saying what we talked about, but basically he said there really was no quarterback competition. They knew who they were going with, but they wanted every guy to compete.
Exactly, and that's what you want in training camp. You want guys to compete to the best ability, and hopefully competition reflects leadership. You want those guys to you don't want to give the keys to anybody. You want them to separate themselves from the pack. And obviously we've had our fair share of quarterbacks come through this thing.
That's why I was going to defend you tonight in front of everyone.
I really don't need any defending, man. I kind of know what it is, and obviously.
A lot of quarterbacks.
I played with Mark Sanchez last year. I played with Alex Smith. I played with Josh Johnson. Shoot, I think we had Brandon Sheriff at quarterback one day too. I mean, I'm just saying. So I played with Colt McCoy. I remember, no lie, we called a play against we were playing the Eagles. This was after Mark Sanchez made the greatest handoff ever to Adrian Peterson for 96 yards. We go out there the next drive and we call a play, and Mark's like, I'm just like, oh man. Time out.
See, that's the stuff that you have to deal with.
It's hard when you have injuries like that and you bring people off the streets and you got an offense that's complicated like that.
One of the most complicated playbooks in the NFL, and that's not cliche. This offense is tough. So for you out there who are expecting Dwayne to pick this up, another thing we asked Kevin O'Connell today, and he said he's not expecting him to know that playbook. But he did say this, Dwayne wants the full playbook, and he told him you can't have it yet.
No doubt. I mean, but you look at the kid, and a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people look from the outside in, and they say, okay, this guy threw 50 touchdowns at Ohio State. He's going to be the next great thing. But you hope for that. You want that as a franchise quarterback. You want that.
Sure.
But there's things that, that just don't relate to NFL football. Like, now in college, everybody runs this spread system.
And they all look to the sideline.
Where you look to the sideline, or you got a wristband and you flip it and it's number 7 and you call out the play to everybody, number 7, everybody looks at their wristband and you say hi. In NFL, it's not that. You go up there to the line, one play doesn't look right, you got to can it to another play. You don't know that terminology.
For the sake of everyone out here, call one play right now, just so they can see how complicated this is.
All right, so because I hate these protections, but we go into 82 protection, which is a 5-man protection, meaning the running back is out there about to run a route. So now we have to determine if we're going sliding left or sliding right. Can't give you the calls because obviously we're using the calls this week.
Sure.
So if we're sliding left, I have to make a decision. If somebody runs through the B gap, I have to squeeze down because it's a hot protection. There's no running back. So I'm in what you want to call a catch-22. I got to set straight back because if that backer blitzes through the B gap, I got to be able to come down just like that. If he doesn't, I got to block the end. So there's little things like that.
Does that sound complicated to anybody out here?
There's little things like that in a split second. You break the huddle, you get to the line, it's 10 seconds to snap the ball. You got to know that. You got to be able to read the safety rotation, see where that's coming. If they're blitzing, it's
So are you able to call, say, like maybe a play from Shanahan? I mean, just a play that you know will not be ran Sunday, so that if something happens, they're not looking at me in the press box.
I don't know how old you think I am, Lake, but that's all that you were Shanahan. I mean, great day.
Okay, well, what about Jay? That you know is not going to be called on Sunday.
I mean, everybody knows we run sub-12 duo.
Right. But, I mean, for them, just call the play, the full play.
I can't do that, man. We run that play. Everybody knows in the world we're handing the ball off to AP in the first down, okay?
You didn't get that from me. I just want to let you know you didn't get that. But I would say
first down, you got to hand it to the Hall of Famer.
No, you have to, especially with a rookie quarterback. You know you set yourself up for that because I don't think anybody here believes that. You're going to see Dwayne Haskins go deep on the first play, make Buffalo honest.
Look, they can't see facial expressions.
But you know what did happen today?
Yep.
And I waited and waited. You need to hear this. Kevin O'Connell, and Cameron Guy was here, he was right there. Kevin O'Connell said, he was talking about the leaders of the offense. Yours was the first name that came up.
Hey, man,
No, he did. He said we know we have leaders on our offense, guys like Morgan Moses. That was the first name. And I was like, that's what's up. I mean,
why do you think that, though? I don't know.
Well, no, because you take a lot of heat, man. You take a lot.
I do.
I have people tell me all the time, I know you're friends with Morgan, but he's jumping off sides, he's holding. And I'm like, but do you know why these things are happening?
Look, I just play football. I let everybody else talk. Leave it up to them. You want to write a book about it, you want to write a journal, whatever you want to do, doesn't affect me. At the end of the day, I have a beautiful family to go home to, and that's all that matters. So,
And some of the things that are
I
happening.
mean, I can say a lot of things. Like I can say a lot of things. I mean, you got to take it with a grain of salt, man. Because I always believe, this is what I always believe. If you allow one play to affect the next play,
You're done.
you're done.
You're done.
You're done. You're done.
Trust me.
You're
Same
done.
thing in media. Same
You're
thing.
done. I mean, do you think when I gave up a sack against Khalil Mack in that game, I was like, you know what? Man, he gonna hit me with the same move the next play. I'm gonna give up the next. No, I said, look, you better tighten your chin strap and get this thing going, boy.
I trust me. It happens. Something happened to me today that I've never done, and I'm serious. It's just a little inside thing. We were in the bubble after practice. I was doing my stand-up, and I did 3 takes today. That's rare.
But you know what it is, man? It's opportunity to get better.
Yeah, but it was kind of like, now I know what people say. So the joke with me is my nickname's One Take Late, and it has nothing to do with just I'm so good I don't have to do. No, I only want to do 1 take because I've been told once you make 1 mistake or second mistake, it's just going to stay with you. And I found after the first one, I just made 1 little mistake. I called because I was talking about Kevin.
Yep.
I went back to Bill and I said, Bill O'Callahan. So, okay, stop.
You might not get an interview with Callahan ever again.
No. Trust me. I stopped. Started over. I'm talking. And the whole time I'm doing this, I'm thinking, O'Callahan. So I stopped again and did the third one.
Yeah.
I'll never do that again.
I mean, it's
Ever.
just, dude, it's just like me. You study everything you do. I study everything I do. And you're going to make mistakes. I mean, nobody's perfect, but it happens, man. And
But don't you guys think that, seriously, don't the fans feel like when you see Morgan get a holding call or, offsides, tell the truth, this is your chance to come clean. Are you yelling at your screen, or if you're at the stadium, are you like, come on, man, what are you doing? This is your job. Am I being fair here? Oh, everyone's real quiet right now. They're ducking and dodging right now.
This is the thing.
Hold on. Let me get him in front of me first.
Now look, I have to say this with a grain of salt, and I have to be careful because NFL is real sensitive now about this referee thing.
I'm trying to get you
You know what I'm
fined.
saying? I seen Baker Mayfield get fined $10,000 the other week making a comment about the referee. So nobody else is
Let me
paying.
make the comments for you.
Okay,
It's not consistent.
They suck.
And look, you go on that side and say that so he can go through his microphone and not mine.
It's not consistent.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like it's one of those things where you don't know what a true holding call is. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what a holding call is. Like, and so during the game, you have to adjust in the middle of the game of what you're doing to what the referees are calling. And it's just
And
one
you
of
talk
those.
to these guys before the game, so just so everyone
Yeah,
knows.
like,
You talk to the ref before the games to
Well,
find
they
out
kind
what
of
they're
make
calling.
they kind of make it a thing of coming to me before the game and kind of giving me fair warning about what's about to take place, and which is frustrating, obviously, but and that's why I say everybody kills me about it, about the whole referee thing, and it doesn't bother me because at the end of the day, I gotta play football. We gotta figure ways to get around what they're calling. And like I said, I take ownership about it. We're professional football players. We get paid to play this game. And so when they're calling these things, it's our job to find a way to get around it. And, obviously, at least it's not just going with us, it's going around the league.
It's inconsistent.
Yeah, so.
You got called for, I can't think of what game it was. It was, I want to say 3 home games ago. Maybe Patriots game, maybe.
Okay, yep.
You pushed someone down, and they called a hold. I see the play. You pushed the guy down and held him down, and you got a call for holding.
And I'm going to defend the referees as well. Now, you got these guys that are looking at several different things at one time, and it's like, I think it was, I want to say it was the San Francisco game. So I got called for a false start. And when you look at the tape, I'm moving on the centers when the ball moves. And the referee, I had a conversation with the referee. I didn't get upset. I was like, hey, look, man, what can I do to fix this? And he said, look, at the same time, I'm sitting behind you, looking at the defense. I see you, a quick twitch, and all of a sudden I have a split second to make a decision. Did he jump off sides or, you know what I'm saying? So it's like these referees are looking at multiple things, and it's like you're looking at multiple things, and so you got, it's hard for the referees. It's hard for the referees. And I feel bad for them because they're.
No, you don't.
I mean, it sucks. It sucks because these are calls that now change games. I mean, like you go. I mean, you get past the 50-yard line and you're running the ball and you get called on a holding penalty and now you're 10 yards back.
It snowballs after that.
Should
there be another ref on the field?
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I think they're doing a great job of trying to have different challenge. You can challenge different challenges and stuff, different calls that you couldn't challenge before. You can do now, but at the end of the day, that just slows the game down as well.
Well, I have one major gripe, and I've had this for the last 4 or 5 years. Every training camp, they have a day where the referees come out and they speak to us in the media. They introduce
Never knew that.
At least, every training camp, there's one day they come to us and they have a press conference with us. And that press conference is for them to introduce 7, 8 new rules.
Yeah.
And it's every year. So just imagine, this is my 8th year covering you guys.
Yep.
That's like 64 new rules over 8 years, on top of the already.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, Ray, I'm about to hit him with a question. How many times have they came to you and explained a rule, but you feel like the rule is between 2 different rules?
Every single time. And that's the problem.
Like the whole thing about what's a catch and what's not a catch.
When you played street football growing up or in the backyard, catch was you had the ball in your hand. We didn't say, well, some of you hit the ground or, you bobbled it. Think about it. A natural motion is when you catch a ball to secure it, there's going to be air in between you for a split second. That's still a catch. But those are the things, and I think that it's just too much information for a referee, as you say, in split seconds.
That's what I'm saying.
To come up
you got a
with.
split second to make a call, because the last thing you want to do is be a referee and throw the flag 5 seconds late and then get booed. You know what I'm saying? So you got a split second to make a call, which is hard on them already. So it's one, like I said, man, it's one of those things where their job is hard as well because they don't really understand or know. And I mean, a lot of these guys haven't really played football either, so it's just
Another issue.
And not that the whole.
But you're not saying it like Baker said.
No, it's just
I took offense to it.
not like that. It's like when you think about it, as an offense lineman, I got Adrian Peterson running the outside zone, right? So I'm blocking we're running a 14 whatever. So we're running to the right, and I'm blocking for Adrian Peterson, trying to block as hard as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I'm going to the Hall of Fame with him, so I'm blocking my tail off, right? And then he cuts back to the left. I don't have eyes in the back of my head. The defender can see him, so when he makes a move and the defender makes a move, my hands are still inside though, but it's a holding call. So it's just one of those things where holding calls they definitely came up there. They're definitely up there now, but there's things like, you fans got to be a little light on us because it's like, hey, we can't see Adrian Peterson make a cutback in the back of our head, but then, we lose our block. You guys are like, hey, man, that guy sucks, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, look, man, I was blocking for the right and he cut back to the left. What am I supposed to do, So it's just one of those things where it's kind of hard. Obviously, you got to take it with a grain of salt, like I said, but, hopefully things start getting better and better.
Folks, Morgan Moses, starting right tackle for the Redskins, is here with us. Every 2 weeks, we're going to be here, and as Morgan said, we'll get some of his teammates out here as well. But, you guys see why I wanted to do this with him? Is you're getting some different insight. People just think.
Look, I better have a parking spot.
Don't say UVA. Just don't say
I better
UVA.
have a parking spot at work tomorrow, man.
So this is the thing. Morgan always talks about you went to UVA And first thing I said today was, hey, when you come in today, you good? He said, of course, I'm good. He said, I can talk to people, I'm good. He said, man, I went to UVA. So, when we looked up here, I didn't see any UVA stuff.
That's bad,
But
man.
you do see, whoa. Yeah, see, that wasn't supposed to be there. That's a Clemson fan. But you see that Nittany Lion right there,
Where?
right here.
Okay, I see.
I'm just, Penn State.
Way in the back.
We had to represent. But UVA stuff was supposed to be around.
It's right here behind you. Right here behind you.
Yeah, so,
With the two national
and
champions.
then there's, what's that championship for right there?
With the
Yeah, basketball.
Tony Bennett, man.
Oh,
Tony
Tony
Bennett.
Yeah.
Great. He's great.
Okay. All right, so this is where we kind of switch gears, because always, when I get the guys to come out, we're going to talk about other stuff sometimes so you can see that they're real people, not just gladiators on Sunday. Something about Morgan that, well, you don't want to say something that your wife knows, but something that maybe they don't know about you, that maybe gets lost a little bit.
Just anything.
Anything.
There's kids here.
Halloween was just yesterday,
Mhm.
and I enjoy getting these costumes. So yesterday, I had a full size. I mean, obviously, you gotta imagine it's a guy that's 6'6", 325 pounds, in a full gorilla costume with an inflatable banana. I get down, bro. Like my costume.
I probably would have been afraid to
My
see it. Like,
costume.
he jumped out of a bush with that, and if there was a brick around, that might not be good.
Then I upset my son because we got hoverboards, and we were supposed to go hoverboarding to house. And I turned him down on it. But yeah, man, like Halloween,
Okay.
yeah, I get it in, man.
What'd you think of Alex's?
I didn't.
His tweet. Oh my
Oh
god.
no, I didn't.
That was
Oh, it
awesome.
was a doozy.
Wow.
Like, I don't normally write about cheesy stuff,
Yeah.
but I have something
You have
going
to-
up about that.
What was it?
It was him laying on the ground, and you have fake blood on his leg, and his two kids were the sharks, like, shark baby, whatever.
Baby shark.
Baby shark from the
Yeah.
house. They were like pretending to be chewing on the leg. And it was.
That's comedy in its own right
It
there.
was, but I mean, it kind of caught me off guard.
I mean,
And he's showing his
but
leg.
look,
I didn't. I
but,
mean,
but look, for a guy to go through something like what he went through, to have some enlightenment on it and have some fun with it, just shows the type of guy he is. Cause I visited his house when he was. It was terrifying, man. I couldn't believe the guy was. I mean, we're talking about a guy that was in a wheelchair for months with rods from his ankle to his thigh, and his rod like poking. I'm just like, this looks like TV.
right.
And I mean, we're talking about blue and pale in the face. So for him to be able to do something like that and have fun with it, man.
How many of you saw it? And so your first reaction was kind of, wow.
I mean, he's been through some things, though. He's been through some things, man. He's been through some things. He's a tough guy, man. It's especially to be able to want to still come back and play and try to give it a shot, man. It's one of this.
How much does this team miss him?
And this is the thing. I'm glad you said this because this is the thing. Because people killed him in the media while he was playing about.
But he wasn't throwing the ball
throwing the
downfield.
ball down the field. He wasn't making a big splash pay. He paid this guy all this money. But what he was doing was, I mean, we were out there 8-minute drives, taking it, you know what I'm saying? So, and then when he went down with the injury, everybody was like, oh man, we miss Alex.
You missed the leader on that team.
You gotta kind of like I know it's a big market. We're in DC. We're watching the Redskins, and everything you can imagine gets leaked. And
Why'd you say gets leaked and did that towards me?
no. I'm just saying like everything gets leaked and everything is on the magnifying glass, spectrum. So, oh man, that's awesome.
You have to make fun of it.
You gotta make fun of it. You gotta make fun of it. I mean, the guy's in a long process. He's still, I mean, He's still recovering.
And he's still out there, by the way.
Yeah,
Out at the facility.
and that's the thing. Like he's helping Dwayne. He's out there helping Dwayne. He's out there with the quarterbacks. He's out there in practice. He even travels to the games. So, I mean, when you have a guy like that, and I say this, fans, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But a guy that's playing football and he's not turning the ball over and he has leadership qualities. And, you know, you guys nail him about not throwing the ball down the field and this and that, and then we lose him, and you figure out that, hey, he was a big part of what we were doing. It's just kind of hard, man. It's hard. This is hard. I mean, I give it to you. It's hard.
6-2.
It's hard. We're 6-2. We're 6-2. And we were winning. We were winning that game when we.
Actually, you were losing that.
We're in the red zone. We're in the red zone. We were about to score. I think we scored that drive. Coach Porter came in and threw a touchdown to Jordan Reed, I think it was.
Yes.
I think it was a wide throwback.
So you realize since Alex been injured, you guys have won 3 games.
Yeah.
3-14 to be exact.
And look, and I say this, man, like, and people kill me about, like, I do the radio show on every Monday, right? And I try to keep it as honest as possible. And when I say, like, look, man, we're a young team, but we got something brewing, you know. And this is when I speak of this, I say within the players, like, we got something brewing. We have confidence. We have great players. We have Terry, who's like Terry, who's.
I take credit for that. Because you guys remember all summer I kept talking about it.
When we drafted Terry, he was just supposed to be a special teams guy. Like, when we took him in the 3rd round, like, everybody was like, oh, he's a special team guy. He's gonna help us in the return game. And I mean, he's probably our best receiver.
I took a lot of heat in training camp. A lot of heat. There were people that were.
But you know what I like about him though? He's quiet. He doesn't talk. He just comes in and works. He doesn't make excuses. There's no, I got to call if I can't practice. He just comes in and just does what he's supposed to do.
But you know what, Morgan? You guys have a lot of guys like that. Believe it or not.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what I'm saying. It's just like, we are now playing, like forget the record. Forget the record right now. Like, we were toe-to-toe with the Eagles, which we should have won that game. You know. Scratch the Bears game. We lost that game. We'll take that on the chin. The San Francisco game, right there. Minnesota, right there. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and then you got to just take accountability. You're missing Vernon Davis. You're missing Jordan Reed. You're missing Trent. We're missing Trent. We're missing Brandon for 3 games. You know, and we're missing Chase for 2 games at center. So, I mean, we're talking about, you take Jordan Reed, Brandon Sheriff, and Trent Williams, 3 Pro Bowl caliber players that you missed for the whole year, and then 3 games. It's hard, man. And what is a quarterback's favorite target?
Tight end.
It's a tight end.
I said that today. I thought Vernon, I saw him out on the practice field, that he was ruled out. You know, right before I left the facility, he was ruled out. And I was thinking if he played, how much of a safety valve he would have been for Dwayne in his first start. So, you know, there's going to be some stuff there. But real quick, folks, we'll take a quick break. If you guys want to, you know, come up, talk to Morgan, you know, or myself, you know, I know I'm the afterthought, but if you want to go and talk to him, we'll be around for a little bit. But we're taking this up to like 8:20. Just remember, this will build out. I haven't done this in so long. I'm a little rusty right now. But it feels good, though. I mean, a lot of familiar faces out there. People who always come out and support. So this will build up, and we're going to have some fun with this. But we've talked about this for a while.
Yeah, I know,
he wants to do this. He wants to take my job afterwards. So
yeah, we're not going to talk about how long we're going.
I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you. You give me your contract, you can have the whole thing. How about that?
Yeah, I'm not done playing yet. I'm not done playing.
You're in track waiting.
Half the contract.
All right, so look, we'll take a quick break and stick around, and we'll come back on and we'll have one more segment, wrap this up. But remember, every other Friday we'll be here. We'll start building out some.
He said he's gonna have Chris Thompson here too, man. Chris Thompson's a great guy.
Chris, I've done this with him all the time. And
he's another quiet guy, but he's a great guy.
Chris isn't playing Sunday.
Yeah.
That's a big blow.
Yeah, we're definitely missing him, man. What he brings to the offense, man.
That's what I want to talk about when we come back was in training camp, even mini camp, I kept saying that this team may have the best backfield in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because you had Adrian, you had Darius, you had Chris, and I just thought collectively, I still to this very day don't know if you can name a trio that's better than them collectively. We've just never seen them together, put it together. So we'll talk about that. So hang tight, we'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back here with Morgan Moses from Sport Nation in Dulles Town Center Mall. Be here every other Friday. Morgan's doing a great job so far, right? All right. And then also just want to let you guys know, I know you've been standing for over an hour, so we'll work with the folks here, the good folks here at Sport Nation, make sure we get some chairs in here so you can sit down. I know that's tough. Couple things. This segment, we'll open it up for you guys if you want to ask questions. We'll give you a microphone. You can just take my mic if you want. You can ask, or you take Morgan's and ask, and we'll try to answer your question. But before we get to that, I did want to get Morgan's take on the Redskins historically have been DC's team. Probably still are. More than likely, yes, they are. But with the Nationals winning the World Series the other night, and congratulations to them on a great job on that.
Yeah, definitely.
You had the Capitals, in 2018. You had the Mystics won the WNBA.
So we're due, right?
You even had the Valor, the Arena team won a
I
championship.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, so
They might get a reprieve.
We won two.
They might get a reprieve with the They might get a reprieve with the
This is a part of
Wizards.
Virginia, man.
I know I forget sometimes because
We call it the
I'm
DMV.
from Washington D.C. literally, and I never considered Virginia, not Virginia here, but
Yeah.
UVA. When I remember at Penn State, we had to go play there, and I was a hike. Is that really D.C. Morgan serious?
I mean, we call it the DMV, right?
Is Charlottesville part of the DMV?
Hey, why is Richmond part of the DMV?
No,
You don't.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Serge, our camera guy, you're from Richmond. Is Richmond part of the DMV?
They say we not. We say we is.
I say we not. I say you're not. No.
I mean,
Because tell the truth. No offense to Richmond. Richmond's great hospitality.
I'll just take our two national championships away then.
How many of you think Richmond's part of the DMV? The one person that's driving back to Richmond tonight. It's not.
Go get you some Mama J's.
How many of you think Charlottesville, UVA is really... So you know what bothered me? Last year during the NCAA tournament, all I kept hearing on the radio, good friends of mine over there, I'm saying, but I kept hearing Grant and those guys saying, there's 6 local teams in the tournament. And I'm like, no Georgetown, where I'm grassroots, no Georgetown, Maryland, and who else?
You're gonna say Virginia Tech probably. And Virginia
No,
Tech.
that's even further
I don't consider Virginia Tech DMV though. That's
It's not.
That's far. That's out there. That's far away.
And then with the other
So what
school
does
was
the DMV
closer to
stand for?
Philadelphia. I mean, it's DC, Maryland, Virginia, but it should be
DMNV.
Northern Virginia, and
Then that would be DMNV,
that's what it
and
should
that
be.
doesn't work.
See, here we go.
But is Baltimore part of the DMV?
It's in Maryland.
Yes, it is.
You ask a person, if we were sitting in Baltimore right now,
No,
they're going to say no. They don't
say
say
Baltimore.
part of
They
this.
say Baltimore is their own.
It is. It's its own. It's its own place.
It's their own show.
Baltimore tape.
I mean, we all know why this is happening because cost of living here has gone up and it's spreading out and it's engulfing more areas to make more money. That's what this is all about.
Hey, you guys,
See, we talk everything.
you guys go visit our campaign. Lake is running for governor.
If you get our traffic, then you're part of the DMV.
Look, since Lake is running for governor, how about we talk about these $6 tolls?
Yeah. 6, try 40.
So I was going to say it's a little bit more than that. Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good.
You know what? I remember coming back from the Giants game. I actually drove up for the Giants game.
Yep.
We did the post-game show on ABC, Channel 7, and I'm like, you know what? It's going to be an easy ride going back, and, I'm not going to have to really worry about the tolls. I think there's a stretch in between Delaware and Baltimore where there are no tolls. By the time I got there, it was already $30 I
Right, so we're
paid.
talking politics now, man.
This is what we're
How
gonna do
come
on
we're
this
in
show.
How come we're in Northern Virginia, top 10 richest county, right?
No.
No, the top
Numero
number one.
uno.
Number one.
Loudon
Right.
is 1,
Number
Fairfax
one.
is 3.
Well, pretty
And a
much,
couple
just so
of
you
months
know,
ago-
there's 8 surrounding counties around DC.
And I-
6 of them are in the top 10 in the country.
Well, so let's talk politics then. So how come we're number one, and I hit a pothole about a couple of months ago and cracked my rim.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
You were late for practice?
Well,
No.
I kind of have to do it. As the young people
Never
say,
been
there's
fined
some young
for
people in
missing
here.
anything with
Well, no.
Redskins.
There's some young people in here right now, so I kind of have to do this. It's called throwing shade. You guys know what I'm talking about. He's like, yeah. Maybe you hit a pothole in your rim vent because it was a Bentley.
I don't know. I don't even know. How do you spell Bentley?
Yeah, okay. I think in most people's cars, they probably would have gone over that pothole just fine.
That was those low-profile tires.
Yeah, that's exactly.
thing, it
like
wasn't
this
a
much
low-profile tire,
tire,
though. It
this
wasn't.
much tire, and this much rim.
And what?
Exactly.
That's what happened there. So, all right. So, I wanted to get your take on this. The
Yeah.
Nationals won. We talked about the Caps, Mystics. As a competitor, you're a professional athlete. You play for the team that historically has run this town.
Yep.
Where they say on Sundays, Capitol Hill was shut down for you guys. Did you feel any type of way when you see these things happening? Like, man, because you and the Wizards are kind of at this point, people are kind of looking at you like,
Hey,
hey.
like you said, we could be real on this show, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
let's be real. It does hurt.
Okay.
It does hurt.
Thank you. I just
does
wanted to
hurt.
hear it.
It does hurt. But let's be real. It's a difference because, and I understand we haven't been the most winning team since I've been here. Okay, I made the playoff one time in 6 years.
Mhm.
Okay, I understand that. You guys are stressed out. I'm stressed out too. Okay, all right. I put in a lot of effort studying, staying up until 11 o'clock studying these playbooks and these players that I'm about to go up against. But just being real, you go to a Nats game full of fans. You go to a Wizards game, not so. You go to a Redskins game, not so. I'm excited more about playing away games than playing
I've
home.
heard that quite a bit.
And I think, so I remember, I think the last time we had a rocking stadium was when we played 2 games. We beat Oakland. We smashed
Sunday night.
Oakland on a Sunday night.
That was great. I remember.
And we beat Green Bay. We blew Green Bay out like 31-16.
I remember. That was
And
a
I
4 o'clock start.
remember one of the fans stole a cheese head from behind us, threw it to Pierre Garçon. Pierre Garçon stood up on the bleachers and ripped it apart. One of my 2 favorite moments since I've been here. No lie. And I think you guys gotta understand, and I understand, and I can't speak on some of the things because obviously it's above my pay grade. You guys want a better stadium and all this stuff. These things and stuff like that, we hear you. We hear you guys, okay? We hear
Most
you
of
guys.
us don't really care about the stadium.
We hear you guys. But
Most of
I'm
us
just
don't
talking
really
about
care
the game day experience.
I do.
Game day experience.
I don't.
Game day experience. Like, because you go,
Sucks
my wife,
from here
my
around
wife goes,
Melbourne.
trust me, I hear it all the time. My wife goes to games, she's like, yo, I went to the Giants game and they had blue and red slushies. And I'm like, so that's what it takes?
We
But-
have Ben's Chili Bowl.
But
Right.
But I hear you guys. But it coming from a player standpoint, we do appreciate every fan that comes out to the game. It is hard when you go and you go and you got Tom Brady in our stadium and he's able to wave his hands down like this and shut the crowd down as he's on offense.
That was-
and so like
It was phenomenal.
trust me, I feel you guys as fans, and obviously we have to do a better job of winning games to get you guys to come out. But it's hard for us as players as well when we run out the tunnel and we see their away team the away team have a home presence,
Well, I'm going to say this too, and I thought about this over the last 2-3 years, and I think that there's something different about, even if you got a new stadium here,
Yeah.
Washington has become the place to be. People coming here for jobs, the economy is the best.
No doubt.
So what's happening? It's a transient city where you
It's
have...
not really. We're the Washington Redskins, but like as in DC, as in a whole, and in Maryland, there's a mixed breed of fans, of different fans throughout the
Absolutely.
NFL.
And they have the money.
So it's like a
to buy
melting pot.
tickets.
It's like a melting pot, and so I understand that. It's just rough, though. It's rough. It's one of those things. Like, we want to be great for you guys. Like, trust me, we don't go into these games saying like, "Hey, let's lose." Like, we work. I mean, Wednesday practice, dude. We had practice Wednesday, and I promise you, I was hurting more.
And you ran sprints afterwards. Like, what's that?
So I don't want you guys to feel like we're just blowing through this and coasting through this thing. Like, man, these guys work. You guys, we work our tails off, man. We don't go into games thinking like, hey, we're gonna lose this game. And like we got great leaders. We got great football players. I said this to you before, man. This is one of the talented teams. Even with
This is the most talented locker room I've ever been.
and not even just talented, but guys that are just no egos, like arguing, I want the ball. It's none of that. Like, just like unselfish guys that just want to do right and play and win games, and it just hasn't panned out that way.
Well, leadership sometimes, Morgan, and this is where, as a media person, this year, I was just talking to some friend here, people were like, you have to start speaking out more, you have a voice, and I've kind of skated around it for years, but this year I was just like, I just have to tell the truth. Leadership falls from top to bottom. It trickles down. If you don't have it at the top, there's nothing to trickle down. So the onus is put on you guys unfairly at times. And I think am I speaking out of line here when I say this? Most of these fans in here are smart enough to know what's going on in your building. And they're not...
I just want the fans to know that it's like, I really don't care about how they bash me in the media or you say, this and that, because I know about the time and the quality that I put in. I mean, I've been here 6 years and I've had 5 surgeries, and
he's always one of the last guys that come in the locker room, by the way, after practice.
I don't want to quote this, but I think I'm like 75 or 76 consecutive starts right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when people bash me on the internet and stuff about play and stuff, I'm like, dude, like I talked to Kurt after the game, and Kurt was like, bro, I appreciate you. The reason why I'm here, like, that year you blocked Khalil Mack and Von Miller, this and that, like, people don't realize, like, I was the only player on the offense while Kurt was here that started every game with him.
I mean, I'm astounded because you get hurt in games, you may come out, and you go right back in.
And like
I told you last year, shut it down.
People say like, oh, his ankles. Like, ask my wife how many times I get up in the morning and I can't walk.
I mean, did I not tell you last year, towards the end of the year, at least week 13, 14, 15, 16, I'm like, Morgan, what are you doing? Shut it down. You don't have anything to prove to anyone. And I'm not going to lie. We're going to be honest on this show. I told him, you got paid already. Shut it down so you can come back.
But
and he said, I can't do that. His exact words were, I got to be out there with my guys.
It's just like there's different type of guys. There's guys that get paid and try to just coast through, and there's guys that get paid and want to make every cent and dollar that they earn, make it truthfully earned. And so when I and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to boost my head up or anything like that. Like, when I came to the conclusion of, like, do I sign an extension here or do I play into, we had this conversation, do I play into free agency, which I probably could have made a lot more money. I was like, dude, like, I love playing beside Brandon. Like, Brandon's a great guy. He's an awesome offensive guard to play beside.
I told him he was silly. I told him I get the money.
Our offensive line, like, the unit that we have, like, we go out to eat every Thursday. Nobody knows that. We go out to eat as an offensive line every Thursday just to get away from the facility, just,
We used to be at Trent's house, right?
We used to have it at Trent's house, so we used to eat out every Thursday. And so, like, when you build those type of relationship with these guys, and NFL stands not for long. So I have a lot of relationship with guys where they've been here 1 year and then 6 different teams. Like, I'm the only one left from my draft class. I'm playing 3 guys on Sunday that are from my draft class that got drafted the same year here. Trent Murphy, Spencer Long, Ty Nseki was here. These are guys that I played with, and they're in other teams. And like Spencer's been on 2 different teams. He's been with the Jets and he's been with the Bills.
You told me I dated you just now. You told me I'm not that old.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
this team, you're the old
I
guy.
am one. I'm like, it's surprising when they say that, like, one of the older guys on the team. I don't feel like it, but it's just like when you, especially when you work as hard as you do in the off season to come back from surgeries and things like that, there is no excuse of like, well, I'm hurt, I can't play. Like, if you can walk, for me, if I can walk, like, I'm gonna try to play, you know.
So you said your wife tried to shut it down too?
Yeah, she yells at me all the time.
She's staying low profile. I like that.
No lie. This season. Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. This season, I think it was like, I want to say, was it week 2? So it was the week before we played the Bears. Come down, go get an MRI, meniscus tear. My wife's like, yo, chill out. No, you need to sit down. And I'm like, look, I worked my butt all week, all this off season to block Khalil Mack. I'm going out this thing with this knee brace, and I'm going to try.
I'm just the whole time.
But, you know, and when I told the doctor, he was like, look, you need 2-3 weeks. You know, and I'm like, 2-3 weeks? Okay, that means 2 days. So I'm going to take my little 2 days, do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? As long as I get in practice before Friday, then I'm going to play.
Do you look at a guy like Ryan? You know, Ryan's like one of 5 players in the NFL that has this consecutive streak going. That has never in his career missed a game. And we're going on, 9 years, and he's in his 9th year. He's never missed a game.
Well, like,
do you see that? And like, I'm being like that.
Like Ryan is I don't want to say he doesn't do anything wrong, but like, cause like nobody's 100% correct. But like when you talk about taking care of your body, the dude is like nails. Like we get on the plane after the game, he has his oats in his container. Like I'm like he's like already preparing for the following week. You know what I'm saying? So like a guy like that, just like, I mean, he puts in the time. He's there at 7 o'clock every morning, last one to leave. He just and the crazy thing about it is like he's gotten me so much better just going against him every day, because like it doesn't matter, like for Ryan, just to give you guys like just a little piece of Ryan, it doesn't matter how hard, like how hurt or how bad he feels in practice, he's coming 100%. Like there is no, hey Ryan, hey big guy, man, let's take it easy today, I know your knee is hurting, my back hurting too, so let's take it. No, it's Ryan. We're in team period together, he's coming off 100%. And so I learned how to practice going against him.
So you can't get any better than that.
I mean, because nobody wants to go 50% and then Ryan long arms you to the back of the quarterback.
Right by you. So folks, as I promised, we were going to let you ask some questions. Anyone have one they want to throw out? All right. Come on. Yeah.
Morgan, my name is Joe. HTTR all the way, 24/7. Doesn't matter the record. I don't care. I'm going to take you guys all the way.
Yes, sir.
You just mentioned Ryan Kerrigan. I was talking to Lake during the break about how he has this. He's like maybe 4.5 sacks away from tying the franchise record in sacks. But I remember last year down in Jacksonville when he moved to second all time, they talked about him after the game. He's like, "Yeah, well, we won. That's what was important." And when you hear that, you're just like, he doesn't care about stats. He just wants to win. I mean, and I'm wondering. I mean, you have him. You got Adrian Peterson. They are determined. You got as future Hall of Famer, hands down. When you see people like that, what's your determination? I mean, you're always one to lead by example, but with AP or Ryan Kerrigan, what's that like?
So first, Ryan, he's selfless. And when I say selfless, it doesn't matter if he's a captain, it doesn't matter if he gets 4 or 5 sacks. He just wants to be great. And when you have that type of guy that's in year 9, that's still wanting to be great, but still is willing to learn as well, the ceiling is just, it gets higher and higher. And for Adrian Peterson, for a little story, So before Adrian signed with us, we went, Trent, I don't know if you guys know, Trent used to pay for the whole offensive line, flights and hotels for a week to go down, fly down to Houston, and we used to train, right? And so obviously you always knew about Adrian Peterson, man, Adrian Peterson all day. So this was my first time ever meeting him, and so we're out there, we're working together on the offensive line. He's like, Adrian's like, dude, I've never seen an offensive line fly out here in the summertime and work out together. And he was like, dude, if I ever had an opportunity to play with you guys, it'll be awesome. So I'm just like, yo, that would be great. You know? So Adrian Peterson, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be great. At the same time, the dude was coming off of I want to say it was a neck injury or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming from the Cardinals, was it the Cardinals?
Mm-hmm.
Right? This dude, every day, the first one in. We're talking about Houston, like, have you ever been to Texas from Houston in the summertime? Dude, it is hot. It is hot. It's hot. We're outside running 13 110s on the track, right? In the middle of the heat. Right, we're dying. You can't even lay on the
10 yards.
You can't even you can't even lay on the ground because the ground is burning, right? So we're like, look, we're dragging each other to the car, like, come on, man. Adrian's like, hey, man, I'm going to run 10 more. If you guys want to, we're just looking at him like, while the whole time having a dip in his mouth. So I'm just like, yeah, this dude's amazing, bro. This is dude. I've never seen this before. Like, we always talk about the 1% in the NFL, and the 1% are like the Khalil Macks, the Von Millers. That's the 1% right there.
Hey, this kind of stuff that we wanted to bring you. I mean, this is great. This is good information. Anyone else have any questions they want to ask? All right.
Something I've always tried to understand is the center makes calls for you all. So you call the play in the huddle. You have the play. But then the center does some other calls. And I don't understand, like, what he does and what you all have to do in addition to the play that's called in the huddle.
So you want the ins and outs. All right. So first of all, let this be known. We're probably one of the only teams in the NFL where the offensive line makes the calls. Okay, so you watch TV and Aaron Rodgers out there and Tom Brady and you see them doing that, that's them making the calls. We make the calls as the offensive line.
Okay.
Right? So that just tells you how much up here we have to do before we snap the ball. Like Aaron Rodgers will switch the play. You see Aaron Rodgers. You ever seen the memes with Peyton Manning, Omaha? You know, look, we do all. Give us credit now. Give us credit. But simply, it's a source of communicating with us. For us, he'll come out. We're in pass protection. Let's say we might be going to a special guy this week. We want to slide a certain way, so center will come up and be 57. Then they might rotate the whole defensive scheme. And then we might point this way, and he's just letting us know, like, all right, now we was going 57, now we're going to go over here to 23 because the safety is covering the nickel slot receiver, and now that nickel is going to blitz. I don't know if you understood all that, but
A little bit.
that's why I said, like, when you break the huddle and you got 10 seconds, you get up there and in 10 seconds, you got to know where we're going, make sure the receivers are set. Then we got to relate the call back to the quarterback and the running back, make sure they're on the same page. So,
And if the play comes in, which unfortunately, I got it out. I was a Jay guy, Jay supporter. But Jay, sometimes the plays will come in kind of late. And you're saying 10 seconds to make a call, but if you're getting the play and it's 15 seconds left, it just compounds itself.
And then it's just like, it's things like you face, like, you gotta think these guys get paid too now. These guys on defense get paid too. So like, we been in the league for 6 years. You realize it's a copycat league. When I say everybody runs the same thing, different personnel. Just different personnel. A Khalil Mack is different from a different rusher. So that's what I mean by different personnel. So a team like the Patriots, who game plan the crap out of everything, and then come out of the second half and have a whole different game plan. It's just when you gotta, it takes time to progress and stuff like that. And that's why I was saying to Dwayne's defense is it's hard being a backup quarterback, not getting those looks in practice you're just watching them on film, and then something happens to the starting quarterback, and then he comes in, and
Cold.
it's just like he's seen them, but he's only seen them on the TV screen, not dropping back. Oh, this guy's dropping. This guy's. Oh, I need to throw it out here. You know, it's different than being in real life form.
Well, hopefully Sunday we'll see that. You know, I will say this. Earlier in the week, I think it was like Monday at the facility, and then Wednesday, there was talk of snow in Buffalo on Sunday.
I think they said today wintry mix, so
Yeah.
that is a chance of rain and sleet. And I've never played in Buffalo, so
All I know is, having gone to school in Penn State, Buffalo's like 2 hours north of there. It's just a different
I watched
type
the
of
game. I
weather. It's
watched
cold.
the game from the Eagles the other day, and it was like I
Oh,
want to say 25 mile per hour winds.
And that's what some
Not
fans.
Houston.
It's definitely not Houston. But they said the way the stadium is built is like, so on one side of the stadium there's two openings, and so the wind just comes in there from the two openings and just swirls around,
Yes.
swirls around. So it's kind of like a twister in that thing.
So I'm gonna ask you this though, because you know, John Kahn, some of my colleagues, you know, my boy, that's my guy right there.
Yep.
You know, Les Carpenter from the Post. Les didn't really agree with me on this, and shame on you, Les, for doing that. But we were talking about we're going to Buffalo Sunday. It's going to be cold, windy, you know, wintry mix possible.
Yep.
But we're in the dome practicing today.
The field's flooded.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
Because I just was like,
We had team meeting this morning.
it's
We
kind of
really-
comfortable in here today.
Guys were like, we really wanted to go outside and just get
Okay.
used to it
Okay.
at the field because of the rain from
I'm so glad
that
you
monsoon we
clarified.
had last night.
Yes, okay, that makes sense. That does
You
make
know, I
sense.
woke up this morning and I told my wife, I gotta go outside and see if the trash flew across the neighbors. Neighbors will get mad, be mad at us. But no, we were planning on going outside, and we actually did some element things. Where yesterday we had a wet ball drill and stuff like that, just trying to get used to the elements. But it's kind of because you know our practice fields are at the bottom, and so all the rain kind of just runs there. And they did what they could to cover the tarp and stuff like that. But yeah, they were still damp, and Coach Callahan didn't want anything to happen on a Friday where somebody slips or something and have an injury. So we decided to stay inside.
Folks, if you're just coming in and joining us, sitting here with Morgan Moses, starting right tackle for the Redskins. My name's Lake Lewis. I cover this team for, 8 years now.
Yep.
We'll be here every other Friday, so just keep that in mind. And we will have some chairs here, so I know I see you guys already. It's coming. We're almost done. But again, we want to thank Morgan for coming out and committing to doing this. This is it's good for me. You know, he's a friend.
It's
Somebody
only gonna
that-
get better.
Of course,
It's only
of
gonna
course.
get better.
Because somebody that, you know, I talk to in the locker room, and, you know, I try to
We
make...
keep it real in the locker room. Me and him, he's like
man.
really the only person I talk to.
Yeah.
Because I know he's not going to spin my words.
No, I won't do that. That's not my style. And I appreciate when a professional athlete tells you that. And, you know, I've worked hard in this business to be fair and be honest. And you don't get ahead by slandering people. That's just not the way it works. And I've always said, I'm not a professional athlete, never have been. So I don't know everything that goes into that. So that's why when he comes out here, when he brings some teammates, we're going to get the words from them, not
Yeah,
from
well,
me.
definitely. Well, and I want you guys to feel free to be able to ask questions, and we'll answer them as honestly as possible. Obviously, there's some things that I won't touch.
There's certain things I won't even bring up.
Yeah, some things I won't touch just because I have to walk into the building the next day with a clear mind, knowing that my stuff is not going to be packed up.
Yeah, I need to make sure my swipe and credential isn't taken from me. So yeah, we're good.
But no, we'll definitely try to keep it as honest, as possible. I mean, we want you guys to ask questions. I'm here because I know there's a lot of things going on, and you guys have a lot of questions from football and just the perspective of things, what's going on, ownership and things like that. And I just want you guys to know that we are truly working. There is no such thing of like flunking and trying to get a number one picker thing or anything like that. Like,
I know that's
we work our tails off, and so I mean, I think Wednesday we go in shells. We go shells Wednesdays, and then Thursday we go full padded practice. And I'm not saying I don't want anybody to think that Jay was a bad coach or anything. Like, man, Jay drafted me. I loved it. I loved the hell out of Jay, man. He drafted me. He gave me a second contract, and you know, he believed in me. And I mean, obviously, I'm the only one left from our draft class, and I came in with him. And so I respect the hell out of him. It's just, you know, when you don't win games, things happen. You have to have change, and it's sad. But you know, I believe.
Did you guys take that personally when he was fired? I mean, does it make you feel like maybe you let him down a little bit?
Dude, like, no lie, that Patriots game, bro, I was hurting, bro, like couldn't feel my hand, had a stinger, and I knew it was one of those games where like, hey, like he could be fired after this game, but I just like was holding on because I was like, dude, like, he deserves, like, cause I mean, let's just be real. If you're any part of an NFL association, like, that takes time from your family, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got younger kids, and it's hard to make Saturday football games because I'm traveling and stuff, and like, you know, having young boys, you're like, dude, like, you want your dad to be out there while you scoring touchdowns and stuff. And so, and then definitely you don't want another man raising your children. So, like, so just think about that. Like, I mean, like, you guys can say what you want about Jay, but like the time and the dedication that he's put in this man is a sacrifice on all levels. Kids, and I believe he had a son that was playing college basketball or something like that too. So let's think about how many games he's missed of watching his son play college basketball and things like that. So, I mean, it's a sacrifice. I know we make a lot of money, and I know there's things that you can't put money on. So, I just want you guys to realize that as well.
In training camp, every day, they're out on the field afterwards.
My kids are running. They can't
Your
wait.
brother, I mean,
They can't wait until that last whistle is blown so they can come run on the field. And I'm just like, look, at least they bring me a slushie every day, okay? like I'm like dog tired. I'm like, yo, I gotta go inside.
It's not the blue and red.
I still gotta live.
It's not
And
the
they
blue and
still,
red.
no, and look, I appreciate it. Might have some grass in it. It's still might have some grass in it, but I'm still gonna drink it because it's a lot colder than the stuff you have on the sideline. So
this is what, again, you know, every 2 weeks we'll see this. How many of you thought tonight was insightful? Okay, where you learned something that maybe you didn't know, and that's what we mean by having fun. I mean, we don't want this to be an interview. God knows I do that all day. I just, you know, I wanted
he
to come
promised me
here.
that too. He was like, dude, this is not gonna be an interview.
No,
We're just gonna have fun. We're
no.
gonna
We'll
talk.
just come in,
We're
talk,
gonna
have fun.
We're gonna let people get to know who you are, and
So you feel like you learned something different about him. So if a yellow flag does come out on Sunday, you kind of can turn the other cheek a little bit.
And look, I'm telling you now, I've already been warned, like, I can't cuss out the refs anymore, so, like, they're at the point where, like, hey, like, you're getting kicked out the game and it's a 1-game suspension, so.
No.
I've done that.
Has there ever been a time where you've come close?
I'm not answering that. That's all you, man.
All right, so, all right, little story. We were playing Atlanta, it was last year, playing Atlanta last year, and I think we lost. We lost. Sean Laval tore his ACL that game. Brandon Scherf tore his pec that game. I had an MCL that game. It was like, they were on like a 4-man shuffle on the offensive line. And it was a late hit on Brandon Scherf from the DN, which caused him to tear his pec. And so I lost it, dude. Like, I lost it. Like,
I don't blame you.
I was cussing the ref out.
But people don't realize that that's your guy. That's your guy.
I mean, like
That's his guy.
you got to think, like just to let you guys know, like, Brandon got drafted to take the spot that I'm in now.
Yeah.
So when Brandon first got drafted, I was coming off my Liz Frank injury, right? Which was, they said, Morgan, you possibly not going to play football anymore because the middle of your foot split wide open, which I still have a screw in my foot now. So I went off in the off season in Miami, rededicated myself, got in the best shape possible, and I told Chad Engelhard, I said, yo, they drafted a guard. We were joint practicing against the Texans that year. Wound up doing really good against J.J. Watt.
Say what?
And they moved Brandon inside. So like, my relationship with Brandon was like, yo, I hate you. Because as soon as they drafted him at number 5, I told my wife, I was like, yo, they gotta play the money, baby. So we gotta go somewhere else. And so, and then he got moved inside. So basically, his rookie year was my rookie year. Our first game starting together was Miami Dolphins and the Dominican Sue and Cameron Wake. Then we played Aaron Donald and Robert Quinn and Chris Long. And the rest is history, man. We've been...
And your lockers are what?
Right beside each other.
Right beside each other.
Right beside each other.
And Brandon is one of those guys that, if you don't know him, he's serious, but he's goofy.
So he took a picture. Look, he took a picture of him in college. You can look at I have 2 lockers right beside each other. One has my wife and her picture when she was like 12 years old, posted in there. And then one side has a picture of Brandon Sheriff in an Iowa jersey that he super glued on my locker. So I cannot get it off. So if I'm ever done with the Redskins or they're done with me and I can't get that off and they try to, find me for that, I'm calling Brandon.
Well, look, folks, we're not going to hold you. This has been great. And this is the first one. It'll get much better. As we go along. Continue the support and come on out. Tell your friends about it, and we'll talk about it on social media. I always like to plug the guys as far as giving them their chance to mention their social media or foundations. Is there anything that you want to mention to them where they can follow you or your foundation, anything like that?
Nope.
All right. Okay. You can follow me on social media on Twitter at Lake Lewis.
Any questions, just drop them to Lake.
Yeah, so any questions, because I'll be honest.
I can't even post a Christmas picture with my kids without getting blasted, man.
We're going to change that for you. We're going to change that. You come back from Buffalo with a W.
I got beautiful pictures of my kids and stuff, and as soon as I post them, you suck. Gosh, man, what did my kids do to you?
Well, I think you've changed some opinions in here.
It's all good, man.
No, this is good, guys. So we'll do this again. Thank you for coming out, and check us out in 2 weeks. We're not going to tell you who, if we have a guest come out with us, we're not telling you who it is, because it's a surprise. That's the whole thing. But don't lose sight of the fact that this gentleman's taking time to come out here every other Friday. That's enough in itself. But we will have some of his teammates come out and give you some more insight of what goes on in the locker room that I'm not even privy to. A lot of people don't realize with us in the media, we see you guys stretch, we see drills, but when the plays start going,
Out of there.
we got to leave.
Out of there.
And then we come back afterwards. So just so you know, when people say, hey, Lake, how did Morgan look in practice today? I saw he looked in drills, but as far as practice, I don't
As soon
know.
as the first team period, you see them walking out.
Yeah, they're afraid we're going to get
They don't see us until after, and like, man, they must have got work today. They look tired.
But I know what I did see when we were walking down to Callahan's presser, you guys were running sprints, and it was after practice, and I don't mean literally like, guys jogging. I saw the linemen running with the receivers, like you guys were running. Is that after every practice?
Every practice.
Well, I don't know why I'm asking you this, because your coach was your offensive line coach, and you guys stayed out there every practice for 30, 45 minutes.
It's not so bad now because everybody stays out there 45 minutes. It used to be like you come out, you get in the locker room, guys are fully showered and dressed. You're like, dang,
They haven't even
just got in.
I remember that.
All the
So now,
smoothies are going. You're just like, dang, man, like.
I do have one request.
What's
I
up?
want everybody to hear this. So you heard it right here first. Those Gatorade shakes. I need one of those.
You talking about the shakes or the slushies?
The slushies. I
Dude,
need
that
one
is-
of those.
that is
I
like-
need one.
Yeah, dude, that's how me and my kids get through training camp. Like they'll come to me and say, "Dad, we got you a cone of ice. Can you get us Gatorade slushies?" So my boys come in the locker room and I know why they do it. They just want to see the football players because they'll FaceTime and be like, I'm like, hey, Zane, Daddy, where's your teammates? Where's Uncle B at? I'm like, Uncle B? I'm like, my kids don't even love me. They want to see Brandon.
So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to bring in my Gatorade thing on Wednesday. And I just need you to kind of just...
I got you, bro.
Yeah,
I got you.
Every day we walk by those, and I'm oh, man. Just thinking about it. And it's full when we leave.
Yeah. It's
So
clutch.
you're wasting it.
It's clutch. It's clutch.
Is it just like a Gatorade, like?
It's like different flavors.
But is
And,
it just like a slushy?
It's a Slurpee machine.
It's
like
a
a
Slurpee
Slurpee?
machine of Gatorade,
Gatorade.
but I saw one in there that one day looked like it said like strawberry mango or something. I need that. Yeah, that's a go-to right there.
Look, now you have people saying, they're worried about the slushies more than the
No, that's me. That's all me. That's all me.
That's all Lake,
That's all
man.
Lake.
That's all me.
That's all
That's all me. You heard it here. So what I would like for you guys to do, if you have social media, if you don't mind, I would like for you to go on my social media and let us know what you thought about tonight's show. It's big for us. We want to continue it. So if you can do that for me, I would be greatly appreciative. And I'll see you in 2 weeks back out here.
Yep.
Sport Nation. Have a great night. Great weekend.